we're cutting.
Live streaming is on.
All right, so we're cutting 28% more for the. We're cutting 43.20% on the for-profit budget overall.
Yeah, I mean the cuts for the for-profit budget are no problem at all, for sure.
Yeah, and then I mean considering the profits that are here, I'm gonna copy and paste them into our into the notes.
My whole concern is the 58-degree west baseline. That's the concern I have. Like, should we be spending $3,800 a month, almost $4,000 a month on our payroll? That seems, and even if that is the baseline, it's still, I don't know if that's healthy. Because, like, sure, it's not against policy to go bankrupt, but it's certainly not a good decision to spend all your money and go bankrupt, right?
I mean, we are not spending all our money. I mean, we have the policy and we have the trigger. The first trigger for cuts is at 20,000.
The Jurison policy is spending 4% of the total per month, right? Which gives a 2-year budget, right? So usually when I budget 1 to 2 years. Even the current budget that we had, which was about $2,500 to $3,500 a month, we still had a significantly longer runway than what we're talking about now. Because now we're talking about a $6,000 budget per month, and it will go through the money very, very quickly. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Mhm.
It's just a lot of money to increase from a $1,600 increase in the budget is very high without clear substantiation, like understanding the rationale.
Close
Right?
your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
I mean, I know we cannot count with the how do you say with the chicken before the egg, right? But I mean, we know that we are very. I mean, we're moving forward. Well, now we got a big, obviously a big bumper on the road, which is upfront pay stop on the budget. But I mean, I trust the vortex. I trust the policies, and they make sense. And I think that this is not really the budget to be concerned about that. I mean, this is the first budget that we are including the non-profit funds
Yeah. Which
finally.
is why it's very important to be very concerned about it, because the first budget sets the stage and sets our trajectory. So if we're serious about the vortex model, then we need to be very serious about the first budget, because this is the setting point for foundational trajectory that we're heading. But anyways, let me just go through a couple more things. So as far as I'm concerned, paying more than like $1,000 or $1,200 for me and Mel is anything more than that for me is unacceptable. The only reason I would be willing to go above that amount is because we fire Stacy.
Mhm.
So by firing Stacy, that technically frees up an additional $400, which could potentially get us up to the $1,500 level, right? Between me and Mel. Going above that gets me extremely concerned, because I never thought of paying myself more money than that. And I've always thought, okay, if we're going to hire Mel, that means I have to take a pay cut. Like, there's no way we can pay Mel the equal the same amount of money that I would want to get paid. That's just impossible, right? We have to cut whatever we pay Mel needs to be cut out of my pay or someone's pay, because we can't just like randomly hire Mel out of nowhere, right? Like, we don't have endless money. Once we start bringing income, we start having money, we can increase everyone's pay. We do whatever we want. It's fine. But until that, we need to be very cautious with spending money. I think it's much better to be cautious and frugal than to just blow tons of money and then have to cut if the income's not coming in right away, you know? It's like, let's increase everyone's pay when the income comes in, not before, right?
Absolutely. I mean, Mel next month is already at zero. So
But
with
that's
Mel,
not true. It's just a mistake. Her
why?
pay is $929 a month ongoing,
Now inhale. One,
based on what she
two,
said.
three. Exhale. One, two, three. Pause. Inhale together. One, two, three. Exhale, relax.
So based on how I feel about it, if Mel wants to get paid $929 a month, and I don't feel comfortable going above $1,500, then I would want to do a preemptive budget proposal for no more than $571 as a preemptive budget proposal.
All right. So Mel next month is at zero.
I don't care about next month. I care about our long-term trajectory as an organization. Any particular month is irrelevant to me.
So I don't see why you need to do a preemptive proposal because I mean, if you make a budget change now, it would go into the June 4th, as we saw before, would be July, August, and we can also talk to Mel for this 928. Mel maybe can stay at $0 for June, July, which would balance everything out. And then you don't need to do I don't see why you need to do a preemptive proposal now. Because you both, you and Mel can just make a normal change which would become applicable starting July, August, and the Mel would be zero for June, July. She thinks she
Okay,
wouldn't have.
but either okay. So let's say I don't do a preemptive proposal. I would still be immediately changing my budget proposal to 571 in relationship to having a discussion with Mel to try to encourage her to change her proposal because I feel like our two like there needs to be a cap for the SF local group. Like the SF local group cannot just increase the money that we want to pay ourselves indefinitely without income. It's just unacceptable, right? So the question is what level, like me and Mamun voted, Alberto and Joyce, would be great if you voted to what should the cap be for the local SF team in San Francisco, right? Because it's just like very expensive here and we need income. We need to stabilize our fundraising. We need to bring in money before we can just like pay ourselves however much we want. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I feel like once we have clarity on that, then we can coordinate and organize in relationship to this budget. Because for me, the budget needs to match our trajectory and our goals of what we want as
Time
an
to
organization.
pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count. One, two, three, four, five. Open your eyes.
I voted.
So, I mean, I think the first thing to understand is that this 1825 number is definitely pretty in the red. So that is definitely concerning for this budget. But if we're at 1500, we're firing Stacy. I mean, I think that is a doable number, right? Which then I would do a preemptive budget proposal for the 570, or not preemptive, but I would change my budget proposal for 571. And then that gets concerning in relationship to it's still very low, right? And so I would want to try to figure out other things on my business side, but anyway, I can deal with that. But I just don't feel comfortable paying me and Mel over $1,500 per month. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel comfortable paying you $571.
Well, yes, of course. But that does, we don't have to deal with that until, like you're saying, because Mel's getting $0 next month, we don't actually have to address that until June 4th. So the deadline would be June 4th for the July August budget. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we have to sit down with Mel and get more clarity and understanding on what we want for the June 4th deadline for the July August 3 month budget. And that all needs to take place. And so right now what we're saying is that the total is $1,500 per month for the San Francisco team without any income. And so then that should look like, a potential preemptive. I mean, this is where it gets into the possible preemptive proposal for Mel, right? So it could be a preemptive proposal for either and both of us
Time
in
to
terms of like,
stretch. Please stop, stand up, then stretch and move around for 30 seconds.
all right, quick step. So if we're asking Mel to preemptively change her budget proposal for this month, then that could also affect my budget, and then that would be a preemptive budget proposal for both of us. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, I would. There's no way that I would accept a preemptive. I would agree on a preemptive proposal for either you and I mean Mel. I mean, depends. I mean, if Mel says, "All right, no preemptive proposals," I get this $1,000 because that's the policy, that's the system, and that's the proposal. But also, I mean, the policy also is balancing that out next month to zero, and then you both sort it out to see a a a a a, a San Francisco total of 1,500 for July August. I mean, I think that everything is. I wouldn't change anything at this time.
Okay, so but basically what I would suggest here is that we're $325 over budget. So if we're $325 over budget, then our baseline should be basically it would be the total. So if we sum the total up between all of the individuals and we subtract 300 and what was it? $325.
Yeah.
I get 3,400. So I would say that our baseline would either be $3,400 or maximum $3,500. So let's go ahead and vote on our baseline and see if we can get that. Because I do not agree on this 3,800 whatever. It's just ridiculous. And our baseline really should be our total overall budget, not just our pay. Remember? So we should add it all up and we should get agreement on the baseline.
Please stop, close your eyes, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So let's fix the baseline then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and just vote on the baseline. I have us on line 185. So this would be the HR budget baseline. So we need to take these numbers and we need to add the uh, this is the HR budget. This would be the bonuses slash decision makers, and then you have the monthly HR, right? And then you would add in the business, business and benefits, and then you have the total, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but it also makes sense that, I mean, if we, for example, if we take here and we say, all right, so Joyce is 50%, because we are cutting so much on the for-profit. So we put Joyce 50%, Alberto we put instead of 1% we put 25% here. Eileen we put 75%. Ate we also put.
I'm not talking about I don't care about the for-profit budget. I just don't care about the for-profit budget. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I don't know why you keep saying the for-profit
But
budget.
here the baseline goes down to 3,486, like this, and we're still meeting all the cut policies.
The baseline is the total budget. That's the baseline, is the total budget. And I think the baseline should be based on the total budget of the what I would call the minimal rate. Like how much money should people actually be getting paid based on what they want, you know? Like me and Mel should be getting paid like $2,000 or $3,000 a month. I mean, you're saying that your rent is like $650 a month. If I want to just pay literally just rent, it's $3,500 a month for rent in this freaking place. It's so ridiculously expensive. And so that would be our entire budget just so I could pay rent. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, of course, I understand that.
So we need to be very careful in relationship to how we're dealing with the local SF money because it can bankrupt us very quickly.
Time for breath. Please stop and get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
So with the current budget, we have 3325, and that's 3795. 3795.
So the business, the business.
So this would be like, let's say 3300.
All right, so let me get that. This is option 2 without Stacy. Here, I'm gonna put it line 169. So we have this is the bonuses, right, which are equal to. So this is the monthly HR budget, HR benefits budget, and business cost budget.
So what I have here for the baseline is I have the current baseline $3,800 a month. So $3,800 to $3,900 would be our current baseline. So I mean we're definitely within range. Let's just know the total and get this all agreed upon and settled and finalized. So if it's between 3,800 and 4,000, it looks like the 3,900 could be a good like balance, you know. So there's 750 for that, and business cost is 1,500. So if the benefits is 750, and the business cost is 1,500, and these 1,500 business costs include all the for-profit and non-profit, right?
Yeah.
So then that gives us a baseline of 6,000 to 6,250, or like 6,150. I mean, I think that sounds fine to me. You know, that's how I would do it. I would say 6,150 baseline. I think that's good. I voted 8 for that, and then that would give us a good baseline because we're going to be quickly dealing with new, especially if you're going to launch and do outreach, you're going to get lots of people applying. We're going to be dealing with all of Mal's contacts, including Lisa and other people, and Charles and other people who want to get paid. So we just need to have a clear baseline and have agreement on it. Yeah?
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Mamun, you voting? Mamun?
I don't know if Mamun is going to vote, but let's just move forward without him. I know he voted. So are there any? So the proposal would be to approve and agree to the overall Jerusalem baseline for nonprofit of $6,150 per month.
Just for the nonprofit. I mean, this is the overall Jurasan baseline. Why only nonprofit? Here is
Everything
everything.
nonprofit. If everything should be nonprofit, it should be the nonprofit baseline.
Okay.
Non-profit baseline.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
So any other questions?
No question.
So it's definitely high. Concerning. Seems very high. But all right. So wait. Actually, maybe it is too high. Because if this is saying that me and Mal are 2,000, not 1,500, so I'm saying if we're 1,500, then this should be 750 and 750. But actually, it should be 3,252 minus the 325.
Yeah, it seems correct to me.
Oh, I see. We already subtracted. So 3,252 would be. Let's double check.
Non-profit.
I don't know. I think I might be closer to the 6,000 instead of the 6,150. I mean, it's still so. It's already so high. I think I'm gonna go for the 6,000. I would just propose 6,000 because on these numbers here, I should
Please
subtract
stop
300.
right
I
now.
mean,
Whatever you're about to say. Take a break for 6 minutes.
so what do you think about a baseline of 6,000? I think it makes more. It's still extremely high, but I think it makes more sense based on what we're doing.
I mean, I think the 6,150 is correct as baseline. Right? That would mean that the first cut with its 7% would be 431. With 6,000 would be 424. Not a big deal.
Have we voted on the policy yet?
No, we haven't finalized the policy. I mean, that's
Did we put that in the voting form as well?
yes.
So what were you saying is the correct amount?
To me, 6,150 is correct.
All right, let's just go with the 6,150, but then let's get the policy for the 7% if you want to do that, and then let's get those on the voting form and get that passed because I think that's very important to have along with the budget. Okay.
Policies for non-profit.
Okay, any other questions? The vote on concerns?
No.
Okay,
I
so let's
mean,
go ahead and
it's
vote.
concerned.
I'm gonna vote a 7, I guess.
I'm gonna vote an 8 because it's a very accurate number. Right. So this has winning consensus. This also goes into the voting form, right?
Yes, like so these are the two policies: the baseline, and then the let's just vote on the 7% one, right? Or you could put the 7% one and the 6% one, and then we'll just
Yeah,
vote on
and the
whichever one
6%.
gets the most support. But I feel like the 7% one is fine if that's the one we like, and then we just vote on those two, get them finalized and approved, and then that along with the budget. So let's update the budget based on this all. And if I'm so option number 1, we're basically saying no, but I'll say 3. Option number 2, we're saying yes, and option number 3. What's option number 3, and why would I vote on it?
Option number 3, it's cutting both Eileen and
Stacy.
Okay, is nobody else seems to want to do that though. And I leave this on paid leave or on unpaid leave, right?
Yeah, I mean, she should be back today, right? She was online before, I don't know, but she didn't communicate.
Yeah.
Oh, she
Okay.
communicated here. But apparently, and I was this morning. I hope to join the next meeting scheduled today.
So why did Angela vote no on the budget? Because if I change my vote to a 7, based on our discussion, the only other no vote is Angela, and then Moss is also a very low vote of a 4. Mamun, you voted a 5, so you are also pretty low. And then Chinindram voted a 6. So we do need to talk to Angela either way. You know, why is Angela a 2 on firing Stacy? So maybe she just needs to understand Stacy's situation, that Stacy basically hasn't done any work for 3 months. Right? And that the only way to hire Mel, who has been working for the last 3 months, is to fire Stacy. Right? So maybe we can get Angela to change her vote, and then it should pass. But we can re-propose option 2 in the voting form as well as these other 2 policies if you want to do it all together. But either way, we could send out another voting form for option 2, because even with my changing my vote, it still doesn't pass.
Yeah.
So either we have to just directly communicate with Angela and see if we can get Angela to change her vote, or we need to, or Mamun, I don't know if you want to change your vote. Where are you, Mamun, with your vote? Because you voted here 5. But if I vote an 8, it passes, just barely passes. But there's just no way I'm voting an 8. I would vote, I think, a maximum of a 7.5. It does barely pass with that. So I'm going to vote a 7.33. So Mamun, is Mamun here or what? Let me try texting Mamun.
I'm mute. Sorry, I'm mute. Okay. I'm here, Jay.
Are you willing to change your vote for the option 2?
I'm willing to change my vote.
Time to start. Please get focused on the
Okay,
session.
I'll vote 7.5, Jay.
Okay, Mamun is
7.5.
5. So then this barely passes.
Can we put 8 point something?
Yeah, sure for that. 8.5.
Can I change my vote?
Oh yeah, you're right. We are supposed to vote just like whole numbers because we're doing it normal voting. So let's just keep it the whole number. So Mamun, you have to vote either a 7 or an 8.
8. I'm 8. I'm 8.
All right. So either way, it still barely passes. So we're at 6.73. So we still need to check in with Angela. Because she did vote
Moth,
no.
we can change.
And moth.
I mean,
And
you
moth
can ask
also.
Moth as well, because if Moth put it 7 here, so it will be good.
But Moth technically is an abstain, so under our policies, we don't check in with Moth. And if we just check in with Angela, as long as Angela's not wanting to block and continue to vote no, and she doesn't have any major concerns with us moving forward, then we can move forward with without having another discussion about this. But if Angela says no and she wants to block this, and we need to explain to her why we would be firing Stacy. If she still is concerned about it, then she has a right to clarify her reasons and try to convince us all to not pass the budget. But I feel like it is our duty to check in with Angela. Does that make sense, Alberto?
To me, it was really, uh, it was really, as soon as I saw a 2, I immediately, I mean, we are not comfortable in passing anything, even if everybody voted 8 and there is a 2, I would have communicated with Angela either way, absolutely.
Yeah, but the point is that we need to immediately communicate with Angela about why she's voting 2, make sure she understands what's going on with Stacy, and make sure she understands that the budget has barely passed. And if she wants to hold up the budget, she can, or she can basically go up to like a 4 or whatever and allow us to move forward with the budget, right? That as long as she's not like going against the budget and against the team, then that'll be fine. She's the only one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
All right. So, and if she wants to schedule, she can. So that would be good to communicate with Angela. Otherwise, I think we're ready to certify the vote with a 6.73.
And Eileen also did not vote yet. Can she vote?
Fine. Can, if she wants to.
Time to pause. Please
Let's
stop.
communicate.
Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So we are to retroactively certify the budget as of, what is it right now? You started about Andromeda Hour 3, right? Andromeda Hour 3.
We are now in
Monday, Tuesday. For what was the total? So the total was 3,800.
795. Yeah.
$3,795.
Mm-hmm.
$3,795. Do we know how much is in the red? Do we know how much is? I guess the red isn't totally applicable because we're adding Mel. We haven't given a chance to do client work yet. So
2,400 in the red. 2,403.
2,403 in the red. So I mean, it's possible this requires a UMCUS proposal, doesn't it, or not?
I mean, yes, of course. 2,400 in the red.
So we're all in agreement this does require UMCUS?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm ready to certify the budget minus the UMCUS proposal, and so that's it. We just finalized the UMCUS proposal, and then we certified the budget retroactively. Then we have to talk to Angela and or just send out a re-proposal, like a revote on option 2, and communicate with Angela about it, and then get the revote, get the approval on the policy and the baseline, and then We're done. Oh, hey, I turn the oven on. I didn't put them in the oven. Oh, they're in there? Yeah. So we're definitely getting close. Do we want to work on umcuts now, or do you guys want to take a break, or do you want to?
We missed a break. I mean,
Time for breath. Please stop and get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale.
Okay,
Relax.
we can start after the break.
I'm ready to stop personally. I'm so close, and now we have this umcus proposal. I mean, how complicated can the umcus proposal be? We're saying we're proposing a $2,400 loan. Is that correct?
yes, that's correct.
And then based on what, right? So we have a discussion. We have to look at the policies, but I think we need to based on question mark expectations. So we need to have clear expectations, and then we need to know the total loaned amount, and we need to know
The
the
total loan amount is $10,000, and the credit line, right? And there is, I believe, 4,400 or something.
what's the difference between 10,000 and 400 and 4,400? What's the difference?
The loan is 10,000. Then of these 10,000, we already used 6,600 from the last
There's only the total amount that we owe, right?
10,000.
10,000.
Right? 10,000.
No, there's just the
10,282.
owe. The only question is how much we owe, right? That's
How
the
much
only
we
question. There's no amount that we have available because that just doesn't exist.
Yeah. We own
10,000.
282.
Yeah, 10,000 to
10,282.
Yeah.
And so if we add an additional 2,400 to that, that will be a total of $12,682. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyways, I think there was one other thing, but let's take a break, and when we get back, we just need to have a discussion on the expectations in the point of view of MCAS.
All right.
Okay, Jay.
Let's take 3 minute
5
break.
minutes.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.